Hi everyone. I can't remember the last time I showed my face on a video, but hello, this is Carla. I am behind the account of Documenting the Journey here on YouTube and over on Instagram. I posted my last video on my 2023 goals. I'm using the MakseLife system. I'm using the folio system with some of the A5 notebooks. I really want to be able to get into 7x9, but I just really struggle with the size because a lot of times when I have my goals, I need them within reach, and the 7x9 is just not necessarily a good reach for me. A5 or smaller is definitely my jam. And so I'm still kind of in between my actual, I'm looking down because I have planners everywhere, but I'm still kind of in between all of my planners trying to figure out what I'm going to be using. I would love to be able to condense everything into one system. And so I have a couple of options. So I do have this Clever Fox A5 notebook. Well, I guess it's a planner. That is an hourly. I'll go ahead and turn the camera around here in just a hot second, but it is undated. But the really cool thing about this one is it has goal related stuff in it. The weekly review essentially has all the same 8 areas of life. And so it kind of has really mini weekly actions built in it. And I also went on the MakseLife website and I printed out their freebies for just tipping in the goals. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to use this or if I want to go back to a bullet journal. So I can have everything in one system because I do love this system. I love having the permission to kind of move and change things around. I love just the layout and the paper. But I'm just trying to figure out fine-tuning what I'm going to be doing long-term for 2023. So as far as the MakseLife goes, I've been in MakseLife since they first launched in 2020. And I've noticed a huge difference with my mindset, with my personality, with my goals. Everything has been changed for the better, and the community is phenomenal. I love my Instagram community. I love my MakseLife community. They also have the ClubMakse, which I have been a member of since its origin as well with 1.0. Now we're in 2.0, and it's an excellent community and it's excellent help. But all of that long rant was to say today's video is going to be about my new method of setting goals. I am still going to be using my MakseLife system and I'm still going to be using my notebooks. But my new method is, instead of doing annual goals, I'm going to be doing 12-week goals. So I wanted to show you guys how I broke everything down. Again, in my last video, I touched base on the book that I got the inspiration from. It is called The 12-Week Year. And I do have annual goals written down because I did need kind of a broad spectrum idea of what I wanted to try and achieve. And now I'm in the process of breaking down all of those annual goals to a 12-week system. And so I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you my system, and we're going to cross our fingers. It's going to hope for all 12 weeks of the year. Okay, here we are. Welcome to the mess of my desk. That almost rhymed. Okay, so let's start with my folio. I have a couple of other things here because I did want to kind of just show you guys my process and how I'm breaking everything down and how I'm choosing to do what I'm going to be doing. So let's go ahead and get into the folio first. So the first book that I have in here is the beginning part of your planner. It's the instruction booklet. I did all of my intentions. I went over this on my last video as well. My new word of the year is transcend. That is part of the reason I had a camera in my face a little bit ago, is because it's very uncomfortable for me, and I'm trying really hard to kind of push my boundaries this year and get out of that comfort zone that I'm in right now and kind of do things that are a little bit uncomfortable. And so as far as annual goals, I went through all of this and I broke it down with you guys last time, and I kind of I have not added anything here. Let me just check. So I have not added anything here. And so This is the companion notebook. This is the very first one that I'm using for the year. I have all of my January goals here. I did write here that my deadline for my first 12 weeks is March 19th. So whatever is here, if I have to carry it over to the next month, I will know I don't have much time left. So this is essentially going to be my first 4 weeks of my 12-week year. The things that I have highlighted are things that I've already completed. So I've already completed my first compass assessment. I've already completed some of my physical environment goals. We're on the way to my financial goals, and so I'm tracking my payments that I've done here. I have contacted a lawyer. We've created a consult. So a lot of these things are in progress, which I'm stoked about. But I also wanted to let you know that my weekly actions are going to be all based off of just my January goals for the first 2 weeks. And then this is my second week, so this is the week of January 9 to 15. I'm still in my January goals. Okay, so I am basically going to show you what I'm doing for my breakdown and trying to figure out how I am going to do 12 weeks for a year, essentially. And so I'm using the note pages here in the back of the first companion notebook. I have here written down, this is going to be my first 12 weeks of, I guess, my first 12-week year. Again, I have the deadline written down here. So I kind of broke everything down. I have a little washi strip here for a phone number. So basically what I did is I went to my annual goals in this book and I was like, okay, what can I get done in essentially the first quarter? What is the highest priority thing that I get done? Right now, our highest priority is to get a lot of things in order for the first quarter. My husband is going on an international trip, and so we have a lot of things that I want to just kind of go through with a fine-tooth comb, just on the off chance that something silly happens over there and I need access to like life insurance plans, heaven forbid. So my biggest, highest priority was to find a lawyer, create a will. I actually had an excellent recommendation from Sierra over at SM Plans, who is a lawyer, and she told me to just contact my local bar association and they would be able to do some recommendations, which I did. I found one, I messaged them. We had a couple of emails back and forth and I was explaining exactly what we needed. And so we have an appointment scheduled, which is exciting. And so that is in my high priority here in my physical, personal, where is my, I don't even know. Oh, here, family and relationships. So I've already gotten like a good chunk done on my high priorities here. Other ideas that I had is I am planning a solo trip. I wanted to read and listen to 12 books, and so I'm tracking my books down here for my first 12 weeks. YouTube and Instagram is definitely a low priority, but I needed to have it on here as well just to maintain what I have for my annual goals. My American Sign Language rereading a textbook that I already have is in there, and that will eventually go to my book list as well. In the first quarter, we need to get the oil changed on my husband's truck, pay off some debt. In that same thing, I did write to cancel a couple of my subscriptions, which was heart-wrenching and super sad. I have some household stuff in here. I know it's already January, but we need to figure out where our summer trip is going to be. And this is the list of stuff that I want to get done in the first quarter as well. So this list here is going to be basically a migration list of a combination of my January goals in addition to my annual goals. Now, I do understand that a lot of these are carried over and very repetitive. And honestly, for me personally, I think that that's going to be beneficial because I think that the more I'm in this, the more I am intentional with what I'm writing down, I think the more success I'm going to have with everything that I'm going to be doing. And I think the hardest thing for me personally is going to be my book list, because it's essentially one book every week and I'm mixing in some audiobooks. But I think that is going to be the biggest struggle for me, is because I have a tendency to completely just be done at the end of the evening, and I would want to journal or, you know, just like sit and watch a show. But as you'd notice, like TV is not included in any of my goals. But speaking of journaling, I did want to show you my journal. So I am going to be using the JMB Living. I have been trying really hard to love my common planner. I think I'm going to be using this as a decorative memory keeper instead. And this is going to be like my fun kind of, I'm going to be using a bunch of stickers in it type thing. I haven't decided yet. I originally thought that that was going to be my everything planner, but it didn't quite work out that way. But this has been going really well and very strong. So I have journaled a whopping 4 days in a row, and I really do love that. So I am doing that at night in addition to just kind of trying to decompress. And that way, like, journaling for me is a decompression. And so even though I'm trying to have like low priority YouTube and Instagram goals, I am still on social media, but I'm also trying to decrease my social media amount and do reading instead. One trick I have found is audiobooks are phenomenal. I have a 20-minute drive one way for work 4 days a week. And so that's 40 minutes of / reading, listening to a book. And so I'm going to do a lot of that as well. But I'm going to be using these back pages for all of my breakdowns. And one of these companion notebooks is essentially 12 weeks. And it will be pretty close to exactly what I need. So I know by the time I get to like this area of the notebook, I got to like kick it in high gear. And then in my second 12-week year, I'm going to, again, do the same thing. I'm going to go through my annual stuff. I'm going to reprioritize where I'm at in that quarter, and I'm going to reprioritize what I need to do in order to complete all of this stuff essentially by the end of 2023. I know it looks like a lot, but that's just because I'm a pretty detailed list / note taker. And I think the health and wellness and the physical environment are going to be the hardest. Finances will be pretty challenging. Fun and recreation. I see this one as a true fun and recreation. If I don't complete it in the end, it's going to be okay. Like, granted, yes, I would love to read 50 books, but if I'm focusing more time in other areas and I'm not reading as much because I'm trying to work on my mental health or I'm trying to do budgeting and learn about finances, then this one is a-okay for me to kind of not worry too much about. But I just wanted to share that with everybody and let you guys know exactly how I'm going to be breaking things down. So I have not done my reflections yet, but I did start trying to work already on my 3rd week. So essentially my 2nd week, because I didn't technically count that weird January 1st week where it was 1 day of the week. So this for me technically is week 3, but it's essentially my 2nd week. And so I did write down some of the stuff that I will be doing. So I am currently reading a book right now. I have a hair appointment, which is in my annual goals. I've got to finalize some questions for the lawyer. My husband is going to be out of town, so I'm just going to do a super duper easy menu. And I wrote down that we have a lot of after school activities as a reminder. And then focusing on nutrition, because I know that with my husband being out of town, I'm not going to hit movement goals this particular week. And so I'm just going to shift that to a nutrition standpoint, which again is going to be fine. Missing my movement goals is going to be, it's going to be fine. And then financial, I get my paycheck this coming week, and then we've got Girl Scout cookie orders that are due. So I've got to make sure that the finances are in order of that. So again, this is the week that I am currently in right now as I'm filming. I've highlighted the things that I've already done, and a little bit behind on my American Sign Language. I have completed an audiobook already. ClubMakse, one of them was postponed, and so I need to go back and watch the replays of that and get that done. And then I've only hit 1 of my 3 movement goals for this week, but I've also already found a new meal, and I am going to be cooking that today as well. So I feel pretty comfortable with how things are going. I will go ahead and make sure to film this stuff on a regular basis so you guys are aware of my progress, what's working, what's not working, and we will just go from there. I really appreciate you guys again hanging out with me and kind of joining me on this journey, and I hope that this is helpful to someone, especially people that are just starting out with the MakseLife system. I know it can be extremely overwhelming at first, but if you really learn how to kind of like break down things and prioritize it, I think that's going to help a lot of people with goal setting and make it a little less scary. So again, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.